C'est très compliqué de travailler en tant que journaliste à Mogadiscio. Le risque de kidnapping est extrêmement élevé et c'est pourquoi je dois circuler en permanence avec une escorte armée que vous pouvez voir derrière moi. Je dois aussi porter le voile pour des raisons de discrétion. Je vous emmène aujourd'hui pour Brut à Mogadiscio, la capitale de la Somalie, mais aussi une des villes les plus dangereuses du monde. Ce qu'il faut savoir, c'est que la Somalie est en guerre depuis maintenant presque 30 ans. Mais tout a empiré en 2007 à l'arrivée des Shebabs. Les Shebabs, c'est un groupe radical affilié à Al-Qaïda et ils seraient entre 5000 et 9000 hommes à travers tout le pays. Leur but, c'est d'instaurer la charia, mais surtout de faire tomber le gouvernement qui est déjà très faible et extrêmement corrompu.
And some are taken from age 8. And they're brainwashed. They grow up in this violence and training until they become like brainless, just like machines for killing.
Si officiellement les Shebabs ne contrôlent plus la capitale Mogadiscio depuis 2011, en réalité ils sont partout ici, mêlés à la population.
There are people who are wearing uniforms, there are people who are selling shops, there are people who are in the mosques, there are people who are in the restaurants, they are everywhere. Invisible but everywhere.
Au cœur de cette ville en plein chaos, j'ai choisi de vous raconter le quotidien de 4 somaliennes, 4 femmes qui ont pris énormément de risques pour parler devant ma caméra. Elles peuvent être tuées pour ça et en sont conscientes.
Somali women are very strong. For 30 years, when men were fighting, when men left, women were looking after the children, taking them to schools, bringing the breadwinners, keeping the family together. Somali women have become very strong and shown the resilience that was needed during these difficult times.
Assalamu alaikum. Hey, taku soo dhawacanteen mama. Dhawacinta ma ka soo iyo gacanta. Hooy maxaa kugu dhacay? Iyo waran. Maxaa kugu dhacay? Hey. She had a small business in an area of the Banadir. So when the explosion has happened, affected in the legs.
À Mogadiscio, il n'y a pas une semaine sans un attentat revendiqué par les Shebabs. Le plus sanglant de ces derniers mois a frappé la capitale en décembre dernier, tuant plus de 70 personnes, dont un bus transportant une vingtaine d'étudiantes. Rukia est infirmière en chef. Rien que dans son hôpital, on soigne plus de 2000 blessés par balle ou victimes d'attentats par mois.
We have to deal with that explosion because we are in an emergency situation every day. So when we see that patients coming, you forget you are but you have targeting the patient's situation.
Ici peuvent se retrouver en fait les pires ennemis dans des lits côte à côte. C'est assez impressionnant.
Hey, Warren, قريح ما كوكو جاره. حبضني انت حلاش ميا بيفتحني هذه انا ابتي هذه انا قرحي ميا توري ميا When there is an explosion, it's mostly civilian patients are coming. But when there is a fighting, both sides can come in the hospitals. Everybody who is sick like this, whatever, wherever he comes and whoever he has a right to get the treatment. I grew up here in this situation, and I never get fed up about the situation because I know these situations are from the side of Allah, and Allah, the only one is who can solve the problem is existing in Somalia.
We are very resilient. We have become very resilient. In the beginning, when you hear an explosion or killing, we used to call someone, what happened? I heard an explosion. Somebody died maybe. Who died? How many died? But not anymore. You will hear a huge explosion, or maybe the house can shake, and you don't bother. You don't call anyone. You just continue what you're doing. So we are used to that now. We used to cry when somebody dies, but not anymore. We used to all this. accepting the violence. So it's in our system.
Do you feel afraid sometimes with the explosion in the city?
Yes, there is many explosions and sometimes they happen, but the other time they enjoy the beautiful place of the country, like here. Sometimes if you see the other side, it looks like the future will be better than now.
Is he afraid sometimes with the explosion and stuff like that?
You don't scared about that shit. Me too, I come from United States. I live here like 3 years right now, and I don't want to come back that. I used to live in Sweden too. It's better here. Somalia is better, all the countries. Somalia is better. Come to all.
À Mogadiscio, il y a des hommes armés à tous les coins de rue et des checkpoints tous les 100 mètres, donc il faut montrer patte blanche à chaque fois.
This is where they bring the banana for the day. We do 2 cars per day, which is like 2 tons. We deliver to like over 200 women, which actually, creates jobs for them because they resell those banana to higher amount of money and they make a living for their families.
Plusieurs millions de Somaliens ont dû quitter le pays à cause de la situation sécuritaire ces dernières années. Et aujourd'hui, une partie de cette diaspora revient en Somalie pour développer le pays. C'est le cas de Najma, qui a 36 ans et qui, après 20 ans aux États-Unis, a décidé de revenir ici, en Somalie, pour diriger une entreprise de bananes.
Hey, I went to high school and college in the US. I was working as a software engineer. I came to Somalia because I wanted to make a change in my life and see what things I can do to improve my skills as well as my country.
Do you still talk with your friend in US?
Of course, yeah. Yeah, we talk on the weekends or whenever we have time. When they watch my my social media, they're like, wow, I can't believe that's Somalia. They're like shocked. Everybody in the US is worried to be, living in Somalia because of the security reasons, because of all the explosions that happen, a lot of the times. But when I come here, I saw how people live, they live a free lifestyle. Nobody's really scared. It's not like the way the media makes it look like that, oh my God, Somalia is not safe. You're gonna die there within like a couple of weeks if you stay there. You see how fast they finish it up? It's empty, so now the next one is they're gonna do this one again. As a woman, it's not really easy to have this big business in Somalia because a lot of the big, companies based in Somalia are owned by men, run by men. But that doesn't mean that as a woman you can't do that. Once you overcome them and once people see that you're capable of doing this kind of job, they're like, oh, they start to respect you more, they start to trust your judgment more, and they actually, come for advice for you more. There's so many young women that need role model right now, that need guidance, that, needs a woman they can look up to and say, I want to be like her when I grow up. And so we all inspire to be that woman that is going to be a role model for the next generation.
Devant la caméra, elle est extrêmement positive et croit vraiment en ce qu'elle fait, mais en fait, derrière la caméra, elle m'avoue qu'elle ne préfère pas parler de politique pour ne pas être ciblée par des groupes radicaux comme les Shebab.
No, they don't say that they want to kill you and all that, but they tell you, you are a woman, you cannot be in politics, you are a woman, you cannot be a leader, you are a woman, you cannot stand next to men, you are a woman, all that. This is, with me and the people like me, we face that every day, but we don't listen to that. That doesn't stop us. We go forward.
L'avenir des Somaliennes se joue aussi à l'école. La Somalie compte le taux de scolarisation le plus bas au monde, avec seulement un quart des petites filles scolarisées. J'ai rencontré Alimo, directrice d'école, qui essaie de faire bouger les choses.
soo dhawaada iskuulka Alkawthar xanaano ilaa dugsi sare waa iskuuladii la furay dagaaladii halkan waxaan aad ugu faraxsanahay inaan ka mid nahay dadkii bilaabay xanaanada wadanka taas waxay ka saaciday dumar fara badan oo rabay inay markaas ubadkooda u shaqaystaan inay helaan meel ay caruurtooda ku aaminaan oo ay keensadaan gacan aamin ah oo ay ku aaminaan intaas ayaan waxaan ku dhabar adeegno markii inaan ubadka Soomaaliyeed badbaadino maxaa yeelay mushkiladihii iyo dagaaladii dhacay waxa sabab u ahaa dad aan fahamsanayn wadankooda inay ilaashadaan dagaalo meel walba adduunka ay ka dhacaan laakiin haddii ummadda lagu barbaarin lahaa oo ay fahmi lahaayeen inay wadanka iyagu leeyihiin activity dhammaan waxa dhex yaalna iyagu leeyihiin xukuumaddu waa ay dhici kartaa laakiin waxay badbaadsan lahaayeen wixii kale oo ka soo haray oo iyagu leeyihiin gabdhaha kaana soo dabageliya hay sax معاني اوكي قرعد maxaa ku dhacay
Some of students become a fighter later.
maya aad waxaan ugu kalsoonahay dadka aan soo saarno wax badan inay iska bedeli doonaan maxaa yeelay wacyigooda ayaa wuxuu iska bedeli doonaa dadkii ka horeeyay oo waxaleeyay wacyigooda maxaa yeelay waxay heleen wacyigelin fara badan waxay heleen waanooyin waxay heleen talooyin fara badan marka waxaan rajaynayaa mustaqbalkooda inay ka doonaan doonaan kuwii hore wax u haleeyay
Ces femmes que j'ai rencontrées dégagent un incroyable optimisme après 30 ans de guerre. Des femmes qui pensent que l'avenir de la Somalie, il se fera avec les hommes et même avec les shebabs affiliés à Al-Qaïda. C'est la conviction profonde de Fouzia, une des premières et rares somaliennes à faire de la politique et bientôt candidate aux élections présidentielles.
I believe if there is a mediator to mediate the Somali people, the government, and the nation as a whole with Shabab. So maybe mediate him like the Taliban and the Americans and the Taliban and the Afghani government. We need to finish that. These people are humans like us. These people are terrorists, but Somalis. So we can sit with them and ask them what they want. If they want a share in the government, I mean, they can get. Anybody with senses will accept that. If that's all they want, if they want power, let them get it and save the people and the future of this country.